Let's talk about some news.
Yes.
Before we went on break,
Mm-hmm.
Twitch was having some issues. They were adjusting the sexual content stuff so that it can include artistic sexual stuff.
Not sexual,
Not
artistic
nudity. Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah.
And everything got completely derailed
Yeah.
when they did that.
Well, it started off because I don't even know what her name was. Some streamer was basically implied nudity, where it would just be her streaming with like her camera cutting off like basically above her nipples. So you just see her huge boobs on stream and her talking. Meta. Yeah. So that was technically not really in the terms of service. So they changed the terms of service to be like, we're going to allow this sort of like, it's not nudity, I guess, but this sort of view. And then they also were like, well, if you're doing body painting, that's okay. And if you're doing art that has nudity in it, that's okay too. And what else did they say? There was something else too. But literally the next day they were like, yeah, we're changing our minds, because that night was like weird and wild on Twitch, where people were drawing furry art with like huge furry cocks with Prince Albert piercings in them, or people were using AI to generate pornography basically.
Yep.
And all the streamer people were like doing topless, streams with their boobs out, all greased up.
Yep.
It's the greasy boob meta. And yeah, the next day Twitch was like, yeah, okay.
Settle down,
we got to tone it back on the art part. They're like, the nudity part is okay. Well, I guess it's not nudity, but the implied nudity is okay. And then like a week or so later, they were like, actually, the implied nudity is not okay. It cannot be implied, because people started they would be wearing like the black censor bars.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Everyone naked.
It went black censor bar meta for a few days there, where everyone just had black censor bars over their genitals. And
it wasn't like it was like on the stream. It was like they were wearing a piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
On their crotch or whatever. There was one guy who was like he was wearing the black censor bar, and he was pretending he was jacking off underneath it. And he's like, "What's Twitch gonna do? You can't see anything."
Yeah, I'm not doing anything wrong.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Waving my arm.
I'm not touching you. So then Twitch changed it back and like, no, implied nudity is not allowed on the platform. So now they have to. It has to look like they're wearing clothes.
Yeah, because
it was bad. You'd go to the just chatting section, and it was just like all these women with huge boobs, greased up, with it cropped to be like above their nipples.
Yep.
And that's all you would see is that on the like, just not the Just For You page, but like the just chatting. Like if you went to top streamers, it was just like all these boob streamers, which is fine. I mean, whatever. I don't watch that, but it's also like, I don't know, like, does it have a place on Twitch? Really?
I don't know. Probably not. Doesn't seem like that what Twitch should be for, but hey, whatever.
It's like, do you think like Bezos is just unaware of what's going on Twitch? He must be, right?
I would imagine that he is fairly hands off with Twitch.
Like, does he even know they own it?
I would imagine he does.
Or do you think someone would be like, hey, Jeff, look at what's going on Twitch? And he was just like, oh my God, let's clean this up here. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was pretty weird and wild. I was getting a bunch of clips of just some weird shit going on Twitch.
Oh, yeah. So I watched Pay Money Wubby's highlight video where he actually goes through and watches some of these streamers and does some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day it's like, oh, never mind. He's banned for 7 days.
Oh, rude.
Yeah, it was crazy. The whole
So
chat
what did he get banned
wild.
for?
He was just going into other people's streams and like looking at stuff, but he was also generating AI porn.
Oh, well, come on now.
So he was like, oh, can we do this? Is this something we can do? And so they'd go ahead and do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's some crazy stuff you got going on there. And then, yeah, next date, find out he's banned for 7 days.
Yeah, it was pretty. The greasy boob meta is over. So there was one that I would see on the Just Chatting page. There was a few like that were like, I don't know what her name was. She's the one that started it, and she's like her stream titles were like, I changed Twitch TOS. She was the original greasy boob girl.
Yeah.
But there was others that followed her. But there was one that I saw who, it was like she did the greasy boob, but she also had her legs up with her knees on stream, like she was sitting spread eagle too, implying she was totally nude, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is getting a little out of hand. So
just a little.
When they change it to be there's no implied nudity, she's still doing the exact same thing, except she's wearing clothes, but she's sitting and you could see her jeans with her knees in the air. And it was just like, oh, this is, I don't know. If you're enjoying that content, good for you, but it's just like, I have no interest in that.
No, me
Then
either.
again, maybe she's very intelligent and has very valid points to talk about on stream, and she was just being implied nudity girl at the same time. I don't know. I didn't watch, but it's I guess I'm judging a book by the cover, where I just see that and I'm just like, I'm not going in there. Are you kidding me? So
yeah, whenever I see that and I go in there, I'm just like, there's nothing happening. She's not really saying anything. Just like, oh, thanks for the bits.
Yeah. That's generally what it is.
I'm going to write your name here.
Like the one that was the one that sort of started it off. I went into her stream to look at it, and she is like totally like not even a real person, really. Like she's obviously had so much plastic surgery because she had like the craziest, like unnatural ass. It was just like, oh my God, what kind of surgery did you have to get that? And like her breasts were just like obscenely big and everything like that.
Yeah. Is that the one that...
And with her lips that are like, you know, she's got the big puffy lips and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what her name was. So, anyways, it was a wild 24 to 1 week's worth of time there.
Yeah, it was absolutely nutty.
You gotta wonder what's going on over there in Twitch. Like, who's in charge of this place?
Right? You guys, it's funny too, because they'll put out a whole list of guidelines, and then someone...
Technically, this is okay.
Yeah, technically this is okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do it. Yeah. Someone's going to go through there and find the loophole and then exploit it.
That's basically the way, like, you know, thieves work or whatever. They'll be like, you'll think this is secure.
Yeah.
They can't get in here. But a thief will be like, oh, all I have to do is this.
Yeah.
And I'm in there. And like, no problem.
Didn't think about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So... that's kind of the way it was on Twitch. It's like, well, I'm not naked. You can't see anything. Just the greasy tops of my boobs. Like, that's okay. That's not against the terms of service.
Yeah. And I mean, there's tens of people working on the terms of service for Twitch and making sure everything's right. But then there's tens of thousands of people looking at that and finding the loophole. So there's going to be someone who's going to be able to find something.
Yeah, I've had, I mean, even at my work where someone will be like, oh, we're going to do this. And I'll be like, well, what about this, that, and the other thing? And they'll be like, oh.
Yeah, that's why it's good to have a team.
Yeah.
Someone to double check all your stuff. Someone to look into this and be like, hey.
But it's just like, why would, I mean.
Especially someone who doesn't think like you.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, like, what are they trying to do over at Twitch?
I don't know.
Like, obviously, I guess they want to make money, so that's why they want to have this stuff on there.
Yeah,
because they make money, but it's also just like, just because it makes money doesn't mean you got to have it. Like, I could sell crack, make a bunch of money, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it was a wild time.
Yeah.
People got banned, people got unbanned. It's
well, and that's the other thing.
Settled out now.
On Twitch for these people that are big, like, a ban is just like, oh, great, perfect. I get a vacation. I come back. I get a comeback stream. People shower me with subs and bits and everything like that. I get a bunch of publicity. It's like win-win.
Yep. Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Whatever.